5 ways a narcissist will weaponize your boundaries. Everyone should have boundaries. Boundaries are essential for maintaining healthy relationships, self-respect, and emotional well-being. Without them, people can be manipulated, drained, or disrespected by others, especially toxic individuals like narcissists. Boundaries protect our mental and emotional health. They define our self-respect, prevent manipulation and control, improve relationships, and give us control over our lives. Having boundaries isn't selfish, it's necessary. People who respect you will honor your boundaries, while those who don't will reveal their true intentions. A narcissist's lack of boundaries stems from their childhood experiences. Early life factors contributed to their inability to respect or recognize boundaries. They grew up with parents who did not respect their privacy or individuality. They were treated as an extension of their parent and expected to meet their parents' emotional needs. As a result, they never learned to see people as separate individuals with their own rights and limits. Some narcissists may have been spoiled or excessively praised without accountability. They may have developed the belief that the world revolves around them, to where they grew up thinking they deserve special treatment, and that others' boundaries are unfair restrictions. Or maybe they were ignored, or emotionally abandoned as children, making them desperate for attention and control. They may have learned that manipulating others was the only way to get their needs met. If they experienced extreme criticism, rejection, or abuse, they may have developed narcissism as a defense mechanism. To protect themselves from shame, they created a false image of superiority and stopped acknowledging others' needs. Narcissists lacked healthy role models in childhood. If their caregivers lacked boundaries, manipulated others, or used control tactics, they learned that this was normal behavior. Without being taught respect for personal space, emotions, or independence, they never developed healthy relational skills. Narcissist boundary issues often start in childhood, but this does not excuse their behavior. Many people experience trauma without becoming abusive. The key difference is that narcissists refuse to self-reflect or change. A key indicator of a narcissist is their consistent disregard for other people's boundaries. A key indicator of a victim or survivor of narcissistic abuse is a lack of strong boundaries or an inability to enforce them. That being said, here are 5 ways a narcissist will weaponize your boundaries. 1. Testing and pushing limits. Narcissists will deliberately violate small boundaries to see how much they can get away with. For example, if you ask them not to call late at night, they may do it anyway, just this once, to see if you enforce your boundary. If you don't, they may escalate their behavior over time. 2. Guilt tripping and playing the victim. When you set a boundary, they may act hurt, accuse you of being selfish, or claim you don't care about them. They use emotional manipulation to make you feel guilty, hoping you'll abandon your boundary to avoid conflict or hurting their feelings. 3. Twisting your boundaries against you. Narcissists may use your boundaries as proof that you are the problem. If you set a boundary to protect your mental health, they may accuse you of being controlling, mean, or uncaring. They flip the script to make themselves the victim and you the abuser. 4. Fake compliance and future violations. They may pretend to respect your boundaries at first, only to gradually undermine them later. For example, they may agree to stop raising their voice in arguments but later accidentally slip up and justify it by saying they were just upset. Over time, they wear you down until the boundary is gone. 5. Smear campaigns and isolation. If you enforce strong boundaries, narcissists may retaliate by spreading lies about you to mutual friends, family or colleagues. They will paint you as unreasonable, difficult or even abusive, to turn others against you, making you feel isolated and pressured to back down. Narcissists hate boundaries because they limit their control. The key to dealing with them is consistency. Set firm boundaries, enforce consequences, and resist their manipulation tactics. You do not allow name calling, gaslighting, or belittling. If they disrespect you, you end the conversation or remove yourself from the situation. You decide how much access they have to you, by blocking them or not responding to messages immediately. If necessary, you go no contact to protect your peace. You refuse to be drawn into their drama or manipulation. You do not feel obligated to manage their emotions or fix their problems. You don't allow them to monopolize your time with constant demands, guilt tripping, or crises. Instead, you prioritize self-care and your own goals. You don't feel the need to defend or explain your boundaries. No is a complete sentence. If they violate your boundaries, you take action by distancing yourself, cutting off access, or confronting their behavior firmly. Boundaries mean nothing without consequences. They may have gotten away with violating your boundaries already. Their brain reinforces this behavior, making them even more likely to repeat it. Narcissists experience a dopamine release when they successfully manipulate or control someone. This reinforces the belief that boundary violations lead to rewards, making them more likely to do it again. The more a narcissist gets away with breaking boundaries, the stronger the neural pathways for that behavior become. Over time, their brain rewires itself to see boundary violations as normal and beneficial, making change even harder. If they face no consequences, their empathy circuits remain weak or inactive. Each time they get away with it, their sense of entitlement grows. Their belief that they are above consequences strengthens, making them even more resistant to change. This reinforces their narcissistic supply addiction. When they break a boundary and face no consequences, they see it as a winning strategy to keep their supply flowing. Letting a narcissist get away with boundary violations literally rewires their brain to believe that they are unstoppable. It makes them live in a fantasy world where they believe they are untouchable. They enter a frenzy mode where they become more emotionally dysregulated. They sink deeper into delusion as their narcissism becomes pathological. They begin to believe their own lies and manipulations, blurring the line between reality and self-created delusions. This is where you see behaviors like gaslighting themselves, convincing even themselves that they are victims or heroes in every situation. If unchecked, repeated boundary violations can resemble psychopathy, where they completely lack remorse for harming others. They feel no emotional connection, and people become objects for their use, and they enjoy manipulation for its own sake. They go from needing supply to simply craving dominance. While not all narcissists become full psychopaths, a severe lack of consequences can push them further down the antisocial spectrum. Letting narcissists get away with boundary violations fuels their delusions, entitlement and emotional detachment. potentially leading to dangerous psychopathic tendencies over time. This is why setting firm boundaries with real consequences is critical, not just for you, but to prevent their behaviour from escalating further. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Share your thoughts in the comment section. Hit the subscribe button to receive the notifications. If you would like to support the channel, you can donate at paypal.me/Narc Survivor. You can book a one-on-one with me on my website. It's narcsurvivor.co.uk. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.